Hello, Professor Brunstetter. This is Ruth Shockley, and this is a video report about my group leading experience. The name of my group is Dynamics of Domestic Violence. The purpose of the group is to provide support, information, and spiritual encouragement for soon-to-be released women. This group is an open, voluntary group, according to Donaldson R. Forsythe, author of Group Dynamics. There were no requirements for membership, and members could come and go as they please. It is a multicultural group, and their shared commonality is that they are all awaiting release after serving prison terms. Meetings are scheduled for every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. The location is the Women's Release Center here in Orlando, Florida. We met in the cafeteria, and we set up the chairs in a horseshoe formation. Our first actual meeting was on Tuesday, September 25th, 2018. We started at approximately 6:45, and we did not finish until 8:20. There were 9 group members, myself, and my co-leader, who is an ordained minister. My co-leader opened in prayer. She introduced herself briefly. She smiled, her tone was warm and friendly, and she made good eye contact. She then introduced me, and I followed her, briefly introducing myself, smiling in the same warm tone. We began by using the skills recommended by Group Counseling Strategies and Skills by multiple authors, Jacob, Schimmel, Masson, and Harville. In that way, we conveyed warmth, helpfulness, understanding, and we put forth positive regard and a warm tone in our initial group meeting. Once again, I announced the name of the group to the ladies, and I explained the group's purpose. Basically, I told them that we were going to discuss issues of domestic violence and provide them with spiritual encouragement. I told them about the group norms, which included confidentiality, respect of fellow members, and no cell phone usage. There would be sessions when we would speak to them as a group, and at other times when there would be group participation. I told them about the various exercises and activities such as rounds and dyads, and I encouraged them to share and participate in these activities as much as possible. Next, I decided I would begin a round. I asked the members to introduce themselves and to give me 1 or 2 sentences why they came to this group. I chose this round exercise because, according to the Jacobs et al. Course material, this particular round is simple, it's specific, and it's very effective for first or second sessions. It's useful because it gets members to talking, it gets them to know each other, it eases curiosity about each other, and it builds positive group dynamics such as trust, comfort, and cohesion. In other words, it gives the members a chance to talk and express themselves. One other important part about this particular way, and that is it lets members establish links to one another. So if someone says something about an issue that you are also experiencing, then you don't feel so isolated. You know that someone else is dealing with that same issue too. Very, very few of the people were resistant. Some of them were a little slow at first because, of course, some people are more confident than others, but eventually everyone did speak. We uncovered a lot of possible topics. Some of the topics included domestic violence issues they had had in prison. Some of them had had domestic violence issues in a past relationship, and they were wondering now how they were going to deal with that relationship when they were released and they were back outside again. Others had questions about how they were going to deal with establishing new relationships. But one major issue surfaced, and that is number 1, were they going to be treated differently because they had a prison record? And also, they wanted more information about how to truly deal with domestic violence issues. So we got a lot of material in that regard to begin. I didn't have to worry about any cutting off or any of those discussion dynamics. It flowed smooth. Everyone was enthusiastic. Everyone was respectful. So I noticed that several heads were nodding when certain things were spoken about. And in the group dynamics material, we are told, in fact, it comes up in a couple of areas, and that is a leader must pay attention to the responses of the group. You have to learn about areas of focus, and that is when to go deeper, when to shift the focus, when to hold the focus. So I paid very particular attention to certain of those areas. It was approaching 7:45 by now, so I thank the members for allowing me to come to them and speak and start this group. I thank them for their contribution and their participation this evening, and I told them that I look forward to deepening our discussions in the future. When I turned the group back over to my co-leader, she pretty much summarized everything I said, and she directed them to all of the materials and pamphlets we had laid out on tables, and she told them to help themselves with them. She then gave a powerful, powerful exhortation on women, love, power, and a sound mind. The members all got together. We put our hands together, we joined in a circle, and we prayed. Self-assessment. I could have done better. I realize now that I should have narrowed the instructions and the specifics of the round. I allowed too many broad topics to be introduced. I'm going to need to establish more clarity and direct the focus more effectively. I will deal with that. Some of the highlights include moments when people made some humorous remarks and everyone got to laugh. And then another point when one of the members started crying, I noticed that couple of the others got up right away and comforted her. So I do see some cohesion and closeness there already. The biggest takeaway was that these women had no idea of the range of the dynamics involved in domestic violence, their rights, and the laws that protect them. I'm going to use what I observed to prepare further materials, activities, and I think that adding spiritual encouragement to all of this will also be effective even while they're in this facility. I'm going to close now by stating Hebrews 10:24-25, which states, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as others have, and some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." Thank you. Bye-bye.